Okay, let's get started. I kind of changed this up. This week is typically for
I have to.
analysis,
Wait.
but I figured a lot of you guys are through the strategy and analysis portion, and you're on to other things. So I kind of wanted to open this up to an anything call. So like for whatever subject you're at, whatever topic you're on, whatever you're having trouble with, and just kind of make it a little more beneficial to wherever everyone is at. So with that said, where are you guys at? Where do you need help? Where are you stuck? So who wants to start?
Sorry, I missed the question. Jim was going to the post office. I don't want to make a trip. He just inherited another errand.
No problem. I was just saying that, we changed this week to an anything call because I think a lot of you guys are already through the analysis and the strategy stuff. So I just kind of want to open it up, and we're just wanting to see who wants to go first with where you're at and where you need help moving forward.
So I can go first.
Okay, Mary Sue, go for it.
I answered my question before and couldn't get back in. You couldn't hear me talking. The other call. So I'm trying to get that email done, and so it's Frank Kern's mass control thing, right? And I sent you my first draft of the thing. So, but my question, I think, is his stuff looks so simple, and I'm thinking and I know that he's sending it to people that expect to hear something from him, right? So that is certainly part of it. But I was having trouble fitting myself into simple. I felt like I needed to explain things that took more explaining than what should have been necessary if I was trying to follow his pattern.
Okay. Let me just kind of preface that, what you're doing is you're doing his 4-day cash sale.
Yes.
So with the 4-day cash sale, the object of that is to do that to existing customers, or you can even do it to prospects. Anybody that's communicated with you that at one point or another has, gotten onto your mailing list, or you've addressed them in some way. So the object really is just to say, hey guys, I'm having a sale. It's going to last for 4 days. Here's the deal. Here's the offer. Here's what's for sale. And in your case, you've got some expiring product that you want to unload. So in your case, I was urging you to kind of put it out there as, hey, we made a mistake. We over-ordered this, and we need to move it because it's coming up on expiration date. Not that it's going bad. It's just we have to sell it by this date. So our mistake is your benefit because we're getting ready to unload this. We're going to do it over the next 4 days. We have a limited supply, so once the supply is gone, that's the end of the sale, or the sale will end at midnight on the 4th day. So basically, that's really all you're trying to get across. And then the follow-up 3 emails behind that, it's a 4-day sale. So basically, you're hitting them with an email on each day, saying the second day is really just reiterating the sale, what it's all about. Hope you didn't miss this. The third day is there's only 1 day left. And then the 4th day is don't miss out. This is your last opportunity. And that's really what the sequence is. And it's just that simple. So you don't really need to go into too much detail on the follow-ups. If there's most of the detail should be really in the first and possibly the second email.
Okay.
But really the third and fourth one is just sense of urgency. It's just a reminder, sense of urgency. And I forget the stats, but there's a certain amount of people that order on each email.
Okay.
So, and he's done this, and he didn't really do this just for his audience. This is a template that he made that he's running a bunch of different businesses, not just in his dog training business.
Okay.
That just happened to be the only one that I had an actual template on that I could send you. So
shall I go into any information at all about why the products are good for them? I did a couple of sentences on each product. There's two that I want to get rid of right now.
Okay.
And I thought may as well put them in both in the same email so that if they want to buy, they don't have to pay shipping twice.
Well, what I might do in that case, if you want to put detail or you think that might be necessary, I would leave it till the end. I would say something in the beginning of the email that if you're not familiar with these products and you'd like to learn more, continue reading till the end.
Okay.
If you don't, you know what this is and you want to take advantage of it, go ahead and click this link and away you go.
Okay.
And then after you get done with that first part of your offer, then you can actually list it product details, and then you can go into as much detail as you want. But that's after the gist of the email. The email really is just to notify them that, hey, we made a mistake. We've got over inventory. We need to move it before we can't sell it anymore and we have to throw it away.
Okay.
So our mistake is, you take advantage of our mistake. It's your benefit.
Okay. I will redo.
Okay. So that is really what that's all about. It's really different than traditional marketing emails. If you're trying to get people on a one-shot deal, you need to plug a lot more information in there. But this is really just like a flash sale with a 4-day follow-up sequence.
Okay. And then how long do I wait before I do it again?
It really kind of depends. If you're saying that you're not going to do the sale again,
I'm not going to say I'm not going to do it again, but obviously I need to move the product, and the question is going to be, the sale is going to stop when the product's gone, right?
Yes, correct. So, but you need to have the other sense of urgency of the 4-day thing. It's a 4-day trigger, or when the product runs out, whichever comes first.
Okay.
Now, if you run the 4-day sale and you don't sell out and you need to run it again, you might need to come up with a new angle. You might need to come up with an email that says, oh my gosh, we uncovered a whole pallet we didn't know about in the warehouse. So we're doing the sale again. Because you don't want to come off as, like, oh, we're only doing this for 4 days, and then you do it again for 4 days. That, Frank Kern has done a lot of that, and that tends to lose credibility with people.
Right. So
you don't want to do anything that's incongruent that will, lose credibility with your audience. So you always have a reason. You always have a reason for the sale. And this reason is, somebody ordered too much product, and, we need to unload these. So take advantage of our mistake. And then if you don't sell out like that, then, you can say, oh my gosh, we sold out. We thought we had sold out, but we uncovered another pallet that was buried under other inventory, and now we're doing it again.
Okay.
So if you didn't get to take advantage of the first one, don't miss this one, because this is our last pallet, really.
Right. Okay.
So you just want to kind of pre-plan ahead for, what that's going to be, so you don't create any incongruency.
Absolutely. For sure.
So that's the truth in advertising, right?
Yeah, well, these are long-time customers. I certainly don't want to do anything that looks like it's not congruent with the way we do business. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what you want to do. You always want to plan for contingencies like that, for how are we going to bring it in? How are we going to, reintroduce it if we want to do the same thing again? But as long as you have a story, as long as you've got something that is, seems legitimate and like, oh, okay, great. They found another pallet.
Okay.
I've actually seen Frank do that. He said that one of the things that they do is they'll say, they'll actually take the shopping cart down. They'll close the order page and say sold out. And then they'll have an opt-in for, if you miss the sale, get on the waiting list and you'll be the first to be notified, if people fall out or something.
Okay.
And then what he does, he collects that mailing list, and that everyone on that mailing list gets a second offer to buy. He'll say, oh, a couple of people pulled out last minute, so we've got 3 left, and he'll sell that 3 to as many as will take it. So, it's kind of cheesy and a little shifty, but it actually works. It's just motivating them to, to act sooner.
Okay.
It kind of gives that sense of loss whenever you're creating a marketing program. You need to create some sort of a sense of urgency, or people just don't move on stuff. If they already want it and they're sold on it, it's a whole nother thing to get them to actually move on placing the order. So sometimes that's all they need, is just that little bump to get them to do it now, versus put it on the back burner and then forget about it. Because that's often what happens. Even in real life, you'll see that almost every salesperson, if you are not ready to order today, they'll ask you what it will take to get you to order today. Because they know if you leave, you're not going to do it.
Right.
They know that. The chances of you following up on your own is very slim. So if it's something that you really need and it will really work for you, it is it's your job to make sure that they get it, so they have it and they can consume it.
So is there an advantage or a disadvantage to putting a notice of the sale on the website as well?
No, that's fine, as long as you do it in conjunction with the rest of the sale, and you end it in conjunction with the rest of the sale.
Right. Okay.
Like, you don't want to send out an email that's a 4-day sale, and then 2 weeks later they go and they see the sale still running on the website.
Sure.
So being that what it is, I don't know if putting it on the website is really worthwhile, since you're doing an email campaign out. If you've got a lot of traffic and you want to take advantage of that, then maybe putting it on the website. But just remember, you've got the work involved for putting it there, and then you got the work involved for taking it away.
Yeah, at this point, that's probably not a great idea.
Yeah, for a 4-day sale, I'm not sure that might might eat up more of your resources than you're willing to put in. So I'm hoping, actually, you've got a massive email list. I'm hoping that is that 4-day sale is going to do it for you.
Well, that would certainly be nice. How about an option of running like a Facebook campaign or something like that?
You could, but the idea that's going to take time to do that.
Gotcha. This
whole campaign is geared towards sending to a member base. This is not really, the 4-day sale is not made to drive traffic to.
Gotcha.
The 4-day sale is to take advantage of selling to existing customers.
Okay.
And even you can sway it into prospects as well, but it's mainly to get customers to buy more product.
Okay.
And what Frank was using it for, he actually gave that away as a bonus for people that didn't have anything to sell and they were looking for a service. He gave them that template to go into businesses that already had, existing businesses that had customer lists. And he said, look, go into the business and say, what have you got that you want to move? what kind of products do you have that are either expiring or you've got too much of, or you just want to get rid of them, old inventory, anything. What do you got that you want to get rid of? And then he said, make them the offer that you will do the campaign for them. You will send the mail out to their list and you will dump that inventory for them and get a percentage of the sales. And that's really why that was created. So it does work for just about any business. I can't think of a business that would not work for, that had excess inventory that they wanted to unload.
Okay.
So that's kind of where it came from. And I know a couple of people that actually did that. They went out and they offered that service to businesses, and it worked. Every time I've heard of it, it did work. So I know it's a proven thing.
Okay. Well, I understand we can, according to Carissa, we can get the thing. She can actually get in and get access to it and get the thing done without doing anything else to the website. So.
Okay, awesome. And can she send it right through Volusion, or do we need to go out?
Nope, right through Volusion.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. The other thing you want to do is when you send it through Volusion, ask her if there's a way to find out all the undeliverables and remove them.
Okay.
Because you don't want to be sending to undeliverable email addresses.
Right. Well, we actually, that really is important. We actually create undeliverable email addresses because we've got customers that are, they'll send a check in, or for some reason they don't have access.
Yeah.
So Volusion requires that you have an email address to be a customer. So we just have no valid email address at something or other, right? And we've got, I don't know how many of them we got, but it allows people to have an account without having to have an email address.
Okay, that brings up an interesting thing, because a lot of people have systems where it does require an email address and people don't have them, or you don't have an email for them, but you need to create them in your system.
Right.
If you're doing that, you want to make sure that you go into the system and you unsubscribe them.
Oh,
that way, if they're unsubscribed, when you send a blast email, you won't be sending email to undeliverable addresses.
So I guess that's a back office thing of somebody looking at all of those, because good grief, there's.
Correct. Yeah, see, at your point, if you've got, 40,000 email addresses?
Yeah.
So you have 40,000 customers. For you to go through the back office and do that manually, you don't have enough time in the day for that.
No.
So what you can do is you can send a blast email, and then you can look at the mail that kicks back, and then you can go in and just unsubscribe all those undeliverables.
Okay, and then if we move to MailChimp or something, then we will absolutely know that we've got valid email addresses.
Exactly. Yeah, because when you go out to a third-party email, and one of the things that you're agreeing to is that you're not going to load up junk.
Right. You're
going to load up good, valid customer emails, into their system. So if you load up 40,000 emails and 20% of them are bogus or bad, they're going to ban you. They're going to kick you out. You're just going to lose out on that account. They're going to shut it down immediately.
So I noticed we've got one person, maybe more, that the email address that she supplies for us is actually something like junk dot whatever her name is at gmail.com or whatever, right? And then she writes in and she asks a question that we have to answer, and I'm thinking, how in the world do you think you're going to get an answer to this if that's where it's going to go, right? But,
well, sometimes people will create those email addresses so they know, hey, this is for something I signed up for.
Right.
And then when it comes to that address, they'll know it's legitimate.
Or I think that it's like receipt kind of things. They don't ever want to see, they know that they get it, but they don't ever want to look at it.
Yeah. As far as a strategy, I'll kind of make this a strategy point. If you want to know where people are emailing you from or why they're emailing you, what you can do is you can set up a catch-all email address
Uh-huh.
so that anything at yourdomain.com will be delivered to a particular email box.
Right.
And then when you sign up for something, like let's say we sign up for Chris's offer, and we say we give an email address of Chris McLean at internetdominators.com.
All right.
So when I get an email from him, an automated email like 2 years down the line, I will know why.
Right. Okay.
And you can make an unlimited amount of those.
Okay.
So that, just from a strategic point, a lot of people, like I see some of the people are pretty savvy that are in our Internet Dominators Club, and they will set up an email address that is SEO Dominators at their domain name.
Right.
So they know when email comes into that box to that address, they know that's legitimate and it's coming from me.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We will.
Yeah, it's really tough to identify bogus email addresses just by looking at them, especially if they're on valid domains. That's one thing. It's really easy to check and see if an email address is valid based on the domain. It's not so easy to see if it's valid based on the user.
Right.
Like, if you put whatever domain.com into the web browser and it doesn't exist, you pretty much know that email is a bad email.
Sure.
Any email it is at that domain is going to be bad.
So how does that work if you're uploading emails into something like Facebook for a lookalike audience? What happens to the emails in Facebook? Do they just drop off, or is somebody looking at it and thinking, okay, you're trying to scam the system, or what happens?
No, in Facebook, you're not really trying to deliver the email. Like let's say you have an audience of people in Facebook, and let's just say it's 10,000 people sign up for Facebook, and then 2 years down the line, they've changed their email address, and Facebook doesn't know it's no longer a valid email address.
Right.
They don't really care because they're just using it as their username. So when you load up a lookalike audience and it's got that same email address, it's not trying to deliver to that email address. It's just matching up the user to identify that user. And then it's going to look at all of their demographics information to try and see who else is like that.
Okay.
Like it's going to take your whole database and it's going to cross-reference, and it'll say, 50% of the people in this database like A, B, C, and D. So that's a really good audience. So we're going to go look at the whole Facebook world, and we're going to see who else likes A, B, C, and D. And then we're going to send that offer to them and see if it converts.
So
versus people that just like A and C or just D, it's going to match up as closely as possible who your audience is based on their demographic stuff.
Right.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Can I don't mean to change the topic, but I've got to get going pretty soon, and I really wanted to ask a question.
Sure, go for it.
Thanks. I'm done with all of the ACT videos.
Okay.
And I've completed the workbook at the same time that I did the videos. And I'm having a little trouble pulling it all together now. Like, everything seems kind of scattered to me. And I think I just need some guidance on now taking all the pieces and...
That's where you bring the pieces to the wizard.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, just let me know when you're ready for that, and I'll look at it, and we'll see what we can put together.
Okay. So is there like certain templates where you can pull, because there might be 4 pages of certain topics and you're just filling in information on those 4 pages on the same topic. I guess I'm kind of struggling a little bit you know.
Once you get your funnel together and you have your your offer and your lead in and all that kind of stuff, you can easily make different variations of that for different variations of your avatar.
Okay.
But it's kind of hard the first time you do it because it's like you say, you've got all these pieces and you don't really know how they fit and
Yeah.
all that. Once you get the first one done and you see it works, and you're going to like, wow, you're going to want to say, how can I make another one out of this?
Okay.
Which that's where the multiplication comes in.
Yeah.
Once we get one with a factor, with a number, then we can multiply. That's where it really gets a lot of fun.
So when I have my funnel pieces, should I be like then selecting my best headlines that I came up with and all of those pieces on one document, or?
You don't have to have them on one document. I mean, that would be ideal, but sometimes that just isn't the way it works. Basically, like what you'll do is you'll create those as individual pieces. Like, say you create an offer. That offer is going to be the same offer for 10 different audiences. You're going to create like a guarantee, your guarantee statement. You're going to create your benefits. You're going to create, all the little pieces. That's all pieces that you can draw from in the future to create more funnels. And like I said, once you see it all put together, it's like, you're an artist and you've got a palette now and all the colors are available for you to paint. Versus before, you had one or two colors and you didn't have a paintbrush. Kind of hard to paint with that. So once your palette is full, the painting will be a lot more fun because you're not filling the paint buckets and you're not doing all that minutia work to get to where you can sit down and paint.
Okay. And then one other question. So on my website, I'm thinking about having a brain injury survivors testimonial page, and having a form for them to fill out that I can post their best practices and how they recouped from their brain injury, thinking that would keep the website fresh and active. And then maybe they would send their people also to the website if they say they have a story, and just letting people do that for free. What do you think about that thought?
That is good if you have a way to control it. It's
right. Well, they'd have to send me their story, and then I would put it so it's all uniform. I don't want people.
Yeah, that's
scattered.
Yeah, that's good. As long as it's done that way, that's great. The thing you don't want to do is you don't want to open it up for anybody to just post on the site. That's a dangerous game there.
No. But you think it's a good thought, though, to do something like that? Would that help with the rankings and,
Yeah, any new, fresh content is always good.
Okay. And that's just, to me, kind of an easy way to get other people's stories out there and things that have worked for them in their recuperation. Of course, I have to have all the disclaimers and everything up there, but there might be something in someone's story that helps another person.
Yeah, because what you could do with that too, anytime you can get someone else to give you content, it saves you time.
Right.
So,
right.
And that is purely unique content as well. So that's great as well. But what you want to do is you want to use it. Everything that you do should be related to your marketing. So like, let's say somebody sends you a great story. You want to post their great story, but you want to wrap their story inside your marketing. So you might start off with a headline that didn't come out of the story. That's created by you. You create the headline, you create the lead in, you create the introduction, all with your product in mind. And then you tell their story, and then you come back at the end or even before the story and you say, here's what so-and-so had, here's what they were up against, here's what they did, and here's their outcome. and here's how my product would help you get the same outcome.
So if that's a section on my website, survivors' testimonies, how am I marketing their story for my product? Like how?
It's still the same thing. It's still their deal, but rather than just have a page with just their story, you wrap their story inside your wrapper. Because if you're just sending people to your website to read someone else's story, what's the point of that, really, for you?
Okay. So am I marketing their story then? I guess I'm getting lost, and I'm picturing.
You're always marketing your product, but you're marketing your product using their stories.
Okay.
So I
might do a Facebook post on someone's story and then talk about how the journal can help their scattered doctor's appointments, for example.
Yeah, whatever it is, you want to wrap a way that your product would help the prospect get the same result.
Okay.
And maybe get it faster, cheaper, better.
Guess I'll have to think about that and then talk to you about it, because, I part of it would be a membership program that all of these, testimonies would be part of the person getting the membership.
Yeah, like let's say I'll give you an example. Like let's say Bob writes you a story. And in Bob's story, it was he had a brain injury and he didn't recognize it. And he was having all these symptoms. He was having these problems. He was going to doctors, yada, 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 on and on and on. And he spent 4 years before he realized that he actually had a brain injury and got the help that he really needed. And now he's cool. Now he's good again. So that's his story. So you would wrap that into man suffers for 4 years needlessly. Here's his story. Here's how to make sure this doesn't happen to you.
Oh.
And then you preface it. That would be like your headline. That's your intrigue. Now they're going to read his story, and then you're going to follow it up with your commentary. You're going to say, "Don't be like Bob." And I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but
No, it's actually a very real story with many people.
Yeah.
So where am I putting this? On a Facebook ad?
No, you're using it as content on your website. Now you can promote it. You could run a Facebook ad and you could say same thing. You could use that headline. Read the story of someone that suffered needlessly for 4 years from an unidentified brain injury. Don't let this happen to you. It's an intrigue story. So basically you've got that, you send them over, they read Bob's story and they, maybe they identify with it. Maybe some of that stuff is happening to them. And then all of a sudden now they're aware, and they're aware they might have a problem, and then you start educating them. And at the end you say, Bob didn't need to do that. If he had this and this and this, he would have identified it in 30 seconds. Or whatever it is.
Yeah. I like Cynthia's idea about the blog. I'm just never really sure what to do with the blog. What is the point of a blog? What are you hoping to get from a blog? I really don't know. A
blog is the epitome of education marketing, because people know that professionals and entrepreneurs and even businesses who are savvy write blog stories, and the whole 2/3 of the blog is purely education. You're positioning yourself as an authority, and the way you become an authority and build your know, like, and trust factor is because you're telling a story. And these are golden blogs. Like John said, anytime somebody will give you story, you can start it out by saying, I was so touched when Bob shared his story because I have worked with 30 people, or, so you establish your credibility slightly up front. and then you say, now I want to share with you Bob's story. And then, so it's education. It's just like John, obviously this happened and then he did this and it didn't work. And then at the very end, as long as you've given rich education, which you would of course always do, at the very end, no one is put off by a call to action, which is just what John said. Right, John?
Yeah, absolutely. And really, a blog, really, a lot of people get confused on what a blog is. A blog is just a bunch of web pages. It's kind of like a journal or a diary. And it really, when it came out, I remember when it first came out, I thought it was ridiculous because that's all what we did anyway. We didn't need a new name for it. and really, it's just a new content page to your site. And like, let's say your site is segmented and you've got your products over here, you've got your education about your products over here in a different category, you've got your About Us section. So your blog would be like an article section. Like, let's say you're going to add a new article every week. A lot of people call that a blog. It's just
who sees it though? Like how do people find your blogs?
People, you make sure it's clear on the navigation, and savvy people who are accustomed to searching the internet to find solutions, they know that blogs are a safe space, because a blog is not for a savvy entrepreneur or company. A blog, they're never shouting and selling on blogs. If you start out by, once in a while you can put, oh, I've got this great promotion, but you don't start out by saying, try our shiny new XYZ because it's the best on the market and you'll lose weight without dieting or exercising. If you start your blog like that, a blog article like that, nobody's going to read it. But people trust blogs, and because they know, oh, I want to see who this company is or who this person is. I want to know how much knowledge they share. I want to know what kind of an expert they are. Can I trust them? And so blogs are trusted spaces. And I've heard stats that say that probably one of the most visited pages on everybody's website is the About page, because if you're new, or if they haven't heard of you before, they want to know. And then blogs are very popular when they're trying to get to know you, because they're saying, I don't want to be sold to, I don't want to know the speeds and feeds and tech savvy and power and ingredients. Who is this person? Are they an expert? Can I trust them? Do I care? Do they get me? So blogs have become, John's right. I probably took 8 years for people to get over the word blog because it's such a stupid word. And
made by marketers.
Didn't it come from weblog, John?
Yeah, basically it was a log.
When just the techie people were using them.
Yeah, it's kind of like it was meant to be a journal from a professional.
Yes.
Like if you were a professional or if you were an expert at something, and it was basically just like your daily thoughts, your diary. Just like an open diary of whatever was in your head for that day, and you being the expert,
okay,
that would be meaningful to somebody that was into that.
And from an efficiency marketing standpoint, Cheryl, the beauty of a blog is, just like John said, once you have your offer, and that's the same offer for 10 different perfect buyers or audiences or avatars or whatever you want to call them. But essentially, for the most part, your call to action at the end is pretty much the same. So it's efficient marketing because you write the fresh story about Bob or Jill or Sally, and then you just plug in your call to action, which is to go to your downloadable opt-in or the landing page for your membership site, whatever you're promoting.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I didn't like about the whole blog thing when it came out was a lot of the marketers came through and they said, if you don't have a blog, you can't rank. Google loves blogs. And I'm thinking, that's a crock. Google does not know it's a blog. Google just looks at code. All it looks like to Google is another web page.
But we were trying to sell blog setup services, John. That's why we did that.
I know. I just didn't like it. I didn't like all the claims that you need a blog to do SEO, because guess what? All my clients were coming to me, hey, you need to set me up a blog. And I'm like, hell no, I'm not setting up a blog. I'm like, first of all, you're not going to use it, and it's going to be a total waste of time. And I said, all those guys that got blogs, you're kicking their butts 10 ways to Sunday with what I'm already doing for you, so forget it.
Hey, speaking of setting up a blog, I have a question. What is the best way to set up a blog? If you already have, like your website name, what is the
best solution, bar none, for a blog is WordPress.
Okay.
I mean, that was the whole thing. That's what made WordPress so popular, because common folks that were specialists and were needing a blog, they were not techie. They didn't know how to edit web pages, and their chances of getting content published on the website without WordPress was like almost impossible. So that's why WordPress was really so popular, is because it was the perfect blogging platform. So I would say, if you don't want to manage it yourself, you can just go to WordPress.com. You can set up an account. You can set whatever, at WordPress.com or whatever.wordpress.com, and that's your web blog.
But John, the one thing I've learned, I've been using WordPress since about 2008, and I've had a blog that long. And even though I never have done SEO, I've got really great domain authority, because even though I changed my URL, anyway. So, but the one thing I've learned, because I cannot code even bold, I know it's supposed to be easy, but if you put me in a room and said you can't come out until you can code the word, something to be bold, I'd be there for the next 10 years. So but I have learned how to just pop content in, insert links, insert pictures. And if I can learn that on WordPress, anybody can, because it just makes it so easy, because you would never, ever, ever, ever want to do a blog post, a single blog article without at least one image, because everything's so image driven now. Mm-hmm. And but the other thing I would say is to always have your blog built into your website. And I don't understand how they do it, but web developers, I've even gone the other way. I took a WordPress blog, and I turned it into a real website with a blog. I didn't, but the developer did, right? I mean, it cost me, I don't know, almost $2,000, because I had so much content. I've got 10 years of content. And but anyway, so I would just say, don't make, in the early days, people had their blog some other place. Like John said, Google does love fresh content. So the best thing to do is just have a developer, or if you know what you're doing, and it's WordPress, you can attach the blog right there. And the beauty of the blog is, it's just like, Wednesday's blog is here, Thursday's blog. So the newest is always at the top. But they're so advanced now. If you have a really powerful story, especially in your case, Cheryl, one that it's been visited, it's popular, everyone loves the story of Bob, you can pin it. If you have just one that's really good, you can, but you still want to do at least weekly, right, John, so that Google knows you're an active, authoritative website.
Yeah, for blogs. So with WordPress, there's kind of three main ways that you can use WordPress. The first one that I threw out was just going to WordPress.com and creating your site there. That's not the best way to do it, but it's the easiest way to do it.
Creating your site or your blog there? You said in creating your
blog. Yeah, okay. Just your blog. And then you can link from your regular site to your blog. So the other way to use WordPress is to actually use WordPress as your main website. And then you can also use the blog functionality of WordPress and create, all of the pages you need for your website using the WordPress shell, using their editor and all that. Okay. The other way is to have an existing website and create a new folder for content on your website and install WordPress in that folder. And then you just have a link to an internal page, which is the folder that holds WordPress. So
Okay.
that's kind of the three main ways to use WordPress.
So when going to WordPress, do I get the free one or the other? There's WordPress.org and WordPress.com. One is the free service, where the address would be WordPress.com/Chris McLean. Okay, so I go to WordPress.com. Then to if I wanted to start a site, if I wanted to create a WordPress site, would I go to WordPress.org or WordPress.com to do that?
Well, if you wanted to create a WordPress site for yourself,
Yep.
you just get a hosting account and install WordPress in the hosting account.
Oh, I see. Okay. But to get the blog, then, when I start a blog, if I'm starting a WordPress site, I just use the functionality within it to say add blog.
Yep, correct.
So I don't have to register anything.
No.
Okay.
When you install WordPress on your site, it's yours. It's an open source thing. You can do whatever you want with it.
Okay. Let me ask you this: if I have a unique name, like like Beyond Film, and I've got a website, called BeyondFilm.com. Could someone, even though I have that website, that domain name, could someone set up a blog called BeyondFilm.com?
Yes, they would do BeyondFilm.WordPress.
Oh, so to protect my brand identity,
you would want to register all of that stuff.
Register it at WordPress.
Yeah,
Nope.
Basically you want to register it everywhere.
Okay.
That's kind of one of the things you want to do to protect your brand.
Right.
Is register all of your different places.
Right. No, I get it. But for registering the blog, would I register it at WordPress?
Yes.
Wouldn't he just, John, well, of course, I'm not, I think you do programming, I don't. I would just say, okay, I've got this site today, it's beyondfilm.com, and they would go to wordpress.org, download the code, whatever that is, and then it would be WordPress, it would be beyondfilm.com, and then your blog would be beyondfilm.com/blog, and then each article would be beyondfilm.com/how to archive your film, or 17 ways to save your family memories on film. I don't know. I'm making it up. Right, John?
Yeah, no, but what Chris's concern was let's say he installs WordPress on his site. Does that prevent someone else from creating a Beyond Film blog? And it does not.
Right.
So there's a service out there called Noam, and this is actually on the ACT page under the resources.
What's it called again?
Noam.
K-N-O-W?
K-N-O-W-E-M. And that's a place where you can claim all of your brand accounts. It's a service. You pay them, and they will go register every social media account out there with your brand. And if it's already registered, it'll give you a report that, hey, this is already taken. If it's not taken, it will register it for you and give you the username and password, and it'll do it all in one shot.
Oh, cool.
There's a bunch of them. I mean, there's literally hundreds of them that people could go and claim and steal your name.
Oh.
And it would also get a blog as well, so that no one could have.
Yeah, it sets it all up for you.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't set it up for you. It registers it for you.
Right. But again, just for right now, with all this talk of blog, if I wanted to register I have my website names, but I don't have the blog names, would I go to WordPress to register those blogs?
Yeah, you would create that account at WordPress to protect your brand.
Is it WordPress.org or WordPress.com I would go to register those blogs?
I believe it is .com. Is that
Okay.
right, Cynthia? Do you know offhand? Is it .org?
I've never had that problem. I've always just the problem. You don't really care if somebody's going to take like www.beyondfilm.wordpress.com. I don't know. I've never worried about that because if you're a savvy web, that WordPress.com is for lightweight people. It's like you're a renter instead of owning your own home, right?
Well, it's not about using it. It's about protecting someone else from being able to take it.
Oh, okay. Because I've never done that. I've just always had the web developer just create it. I've never. So John, what you're saying is, in addition to going to .org and downloading the source code and going to any domain hoster and buying like .com, .net, all of that stuff, right? You're saying the next step to protect our brands is to even secure things like beyondfilm.wordpress.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Because, think about it. If you've spent your time and money and years of work to create Beyond Film, you want to make sure that all of a sudden there's not a facebook.com/Beyond Film that's not yours.
Yeah.
You want to make sure there's not some joker out there publishing a blog, beyondfilm.wordpress.com.
Okay.
It's like that stuff. If somebody runs a search in Google for Beyond Film, you don't want those other jokers showing up. You want to own that space.
Okay.
Your brand should be yours, and you've got to protect it because there's nothing that says somebody can't take your name and go start promoting it for their own brand. So
okay, so I'm going to go to WordPress and do research on how to get the name of the different brands that I have, and just
tie them up. Yeah, you don't have to use them.
Yeah.
Like, I think Cynthia's concern was, she says you don't want to use that.
Yeah.
And that's right. Just tie it up so someone else can't use it. That's really all you're doing with like the service called Noam. You're really just protecting your brand. You're getting Noam to go out there and sign up for all these accounts. If you didn't have anything better to do, you could go sign up for them yourself for free, but literally there's hundreds of them.
Are there hundreds, really?
Oh yeah, there's hundreds of sites. Like with SEO, that's one of the things that we would do is we would take all those sites for particular keywords. So we would get the exact match keywords, and when somebody typed in that keyword, we would have all these different sites coming up that were all just brand sites pointing back to the main website, giving it authority.
Wow.
So even though the main website didn't rank for that keyword because it didn't have it in it, we have all these brand sites that were funneling traffic back to the main websites from those organic searches.
Okay, I've got a question with all of this, too. So where do videos fit in with blogs? Would your YouTube videos go on your website under your blogs?
Okay, well, here's the next generation of blog and video, and it's a vlog.
Vlog, okay.
So that's, again, marketers came up with the vlog, and that's nothing more than a video blog. Now, same thing, you can use WordPress to create a vlog. All you have to do is embed your YouTube video code on the page, and now you've got a vlog.
Okay, but put it on your website under your category of blogs?
Yeah, or vlogs, video blogs. You can use video in your regular blog. The difference between vlog and blog, it's just semantics. It's content. It just happens to be video content versus written content. Now, if you want maximum bang for your buck, you'll do the video blog and then you'll transcribe it and have the copy below it so the search engines can find it.
Okay. So I have you hosting my website, and I have Theme Forest.
Yes. That's
And-
another one for Chris. If you want to create a WordPress site, you can go to ThemeForest. I believe it's is it .net.
I think it's .net. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I think it's themeforest.net. You can run a Google search for Forest.
.com, I think.
Oh,
And,
is it?
and
I
anyway,
wrote it. Yeah.
when you get to Theme Forest, they literally have tens of thousands of different templates for WordPress, and you can type in, if you're going to use WordPress, you want a responsive template these days. So type in responsive and then type in film or video or something, related to your business, and it will come up with hundreds of different themes that designers have developed that are absolutely beautiful. And you can buy them for really cheap.
Yeah, $40. Yeah. Yeah.
So that has the WordPress in it, right? When you buy that.
No.
Oh,
No.
It's a
If you
template.
think about WordPress is like the engine of the car, and the theme is like the paint job, right, John?
Yeah, exactly. It's like WordPress is your house and the theme is your furnishings.
so let me throw another.
It's like having a ultimate designer design the furnishings for your home.
So is ClickFunnels the wheels? I'm trying to put all this together.
I don't know that one.
ClickFunnels is a different platform for building the house.
Oh boy.
So,
Okay.
and ClickFunnels really is more, I look at it more as a marketing piece. So it would be outside your house. That would be like the guy on the street with the megaphone saying, "Come on in, we have an open house."
Okay.
That would be more how I would classify ClickFunnels. And there's people that are actually using ClickFunnels to build their entire sites now. But again, it's the engine, like Cynthia said. WordPress is an engine. That's basically the framework to your house. So is ClickFunnels.
So
Now, ClickFunnels is the same thing. You can buy themes for ClickFunnels as well. You can buy templates and.
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Am I making my pages through my ClickFunnels and then directing it to my website? Or am I making my pages on WordPress through ThemeForest?
Well, that's a strategic thing.
Okay.
That's more of a strategy thing. Generally, what people will do is building all the fancy functionality that's in ClickFunnels for marketing is usually kind of difficult for developers to do in WordPress. Although all of it can be done. It's just not as simple as it is where ClickFunnels is set up to do that one thing. I don't really think ClickFunnels is an ideal platform to build a website. It's the ideal platform to build landing pages and marketing funnels. So within your website, you might have product A, product B, product C, and then you've got all the information about those products, and you've got your call to action and your sales pages and all that. But in the marketing, maybe your page on your website doesn't have all the fancy functionality that your marketing needs to track prospects coming through and to do follow-up offers and all that kind of stuff. So that's more where ClickFunnels is really a championship system for all the marketing kind of stuff. And you don't have to mess with your website. If you've got your website up and running and your message is right and all that, rather than going in and tweaking and redoing your website every time you want to test a new marketing funnel, you do all that testing over here with ClickFunnels. Once you've got the solution, let's say you've tested 10 different marketing funnels, and hey, bar none, number 4 was the winner on all counts. Then you take that information and you transfer that into your website.
Okay.
So ClickFunnels is a great tool, but your website is another great tool. These are all really just tools for your business, and they all provide different functionality and different things for your business.
Well, I really thought my website got hacked.
No, that was the theme that you
I was like, oh,
installed.
John probably thinks I'm just crazy.
Well, I was kind of confused too when I first saw it. I'm like, oh man, what happened here? And then I looked up that woman and I see she's a theme developer. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well that makes sense.
So will she just go away once I make my page, or do I just got to delete those ladies off of it?
Yeah, when you buy a theme, the theme is not typically 100% ready to go. You have to load your content in. See, what she did with that theme was she preloaded her own content in so you could visualize what your site would look like.
Okay.
But you still have to load your own content. Your content will take the place of hers.
Okay.
And any of your images will take the place of her images.
Okay. I was like, oh my gosh, several people hacked me.
Well, sometimes they just put the ipsum lorem in there.
Yeah.
So you know you have to replace it. That's actually probably easier on people because they know that's not real content.
Okay.
Like when you look at yours, it's like this could be real content. You know, it's a story about this woman.
Yeah.
So she's doing that. Remember I said everything you do for marketing? Well, that's what she's doing. She knows she builds these beautiful templates. And then it's all about her, and then you load her template on there, and until you change it, her content is now populated on your site. So that, that's marketing. A lot of people that develop these templates, you'll see down at the bottom, they'll have a, theme by, and then there'll be a link to their website. That's a way for them to get links to show Google that they're popular by populating those on your website. And most people don't change them. So that's a great SEO tactic. Have somebody develop a really cool theme for you, put your link on the bottom, and then go promote that theme as a free theme. So people will install it and you'll get the link.
I have a question.
Okay.
So I know we're running short on time, but with all of these bots and, I haven't even started to do Facebook advertising, but is it still a good investment given all the bots that are out there, and how do you know can you comment on that?
Yeah, Facebook advertising is still a good investment as long as you're targeting the right market. The whole bot thing, a lot of times the bots are easily identified by the advertisers. So you shouldn't be winding up paying for bot traffic.
Okay.
Okay. Or I should say you shouldn't wind up paying for traffic by bots, because all paid traffic is bot traffic. You bought it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I wanted to rephrase that. But you shouldn't have to pay for traffic that's robotically generated.
Right.
And Facebook and Google kind of led the way with that one, because they were the first one to really have that come as an issue, because they were doing the Google AdWords and AdSense program. And AdSense, they were actually paying people to put their ads on the sites, and they'd pay them when they got clicked. So the advertisers would go create bots to go click on their site so they'd get paid. And Google dumped millions and millions of dollars out for that robotic traffic. They got sued on many occasions. I think they had a class action lawsuit as well. So they had to create some serious software to identify the bots and eliminate the bot clicks from actually being charged to their advertisers. So this is not a new thing. This battle's been going on for probably 10 years now. So Google, like I said, they spearheaded it. They led the way. They were the first one through the fire, and Facebook, will follow suit. So,
Okay.
not a big thing. Now, there's a lot of talk about bots now for Facebook advertising. Like, for instance, you can create your own bot that when somebody goes and comments on your post, your bot takes over and communicates with them like an autoresponder. So if you're hearing the whole bot conversation in the marketing end, that's more than likely what they're making reference to, because that's a big thing. Chatmatic is one of the big companies that is doing that. I've got Anthony. I actually bought Chatmatic to play around with it, and I've got Anthony messing with it, seeing if he can get anything worthwhile out of it. But here's one of the things that's really cool with the Chatmatic bot is when you install it on your Facebook page, you can have it look for particular keywords in a comment. So I could put a post on my Facebook page, and I'd say, hey, anybody interested in, being on a live call with me, just put yes in the comment. Just comment with the word yes. So now when they comment with the word yes, because they're commenting on my Facebook page and that link or that app is connected to Facebook, I have their email address and I also have their chat address, their message.
Wow.
Because it's interactive with Facebook. So what my my bot can do is immediately when you put yes in the comment, my bot now is connected to you on Instant Messenger, and it sends you a thank you message through Instant Messenger. Now that's way better than email, because not everybody reads their email. But
wow.
I can almost guarantee you, if I sent you a message on Instant Messenger and it popped up on your phone, I almost guarantee you're going to read that.
Yes, yes.
Especially if it's from me, and especially if you just said yes to me on my Facebook page. So it's really powerful.
Yeah.
And that can set a follow-up sequence with you. That can send out, weekly reminders to the calls that you said you were interested in, or whatever you want to do. And those are very powerful bots. Again, it's a marketing term. It's not really a robot. It's just an autoresponder.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like all of these guys that are in marketing, they've got to create names for everything that already existed.
That's what marketers do.
yeah, they want to pee on everything and make it their own. So,
you know what? In some ways, that works if done correctly, and they're able to get the way for that bot to respond to the public correctly. But in essence, they're using it just to collect the information and have someone return to them on regular business days. But I know, like in our situation with Pure Diesel Power, he always has someone live actually answering it, which is really that much more. But once again, he's paying for people per hour, so it's quite expensive. But if you had something that just answered it and was able to send a message saying, we'll contact you later, then that's a major deal, especially now that they've opened Messenger up to everybody's websites. You could actually place Messenger on your website, and they can message you directly, so you don't have to buy into those stupid little things that, has to have someone available.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, too. It's always best to answer stuff live. A bot is never going to replace a real person. But what the bot can do is the bot can automatically follow up. The bot can generate interest. The bot can get them to schedule an appointment with you. The bot can get them to do a lot of things. Where, let's say you've got a girl and she's on staff and it's her job to interact from 9 to 5 with people through Instant Messenger. That's great, but what is her follow-up going to look like in 2 weeks? If she's dealing with just 10 people a day, In 2 weeks and 5 days a week, that's going to give her, what, 200 people to follow up with? How effective is she going to be 6 months down the road? That's where the bot is really powerful. Now, you can always generate all of the one-on-one conversations you want because now you're connected to that person on Instant Messenger. But to have the bot in place to automatically follow up, there's nothing more powerful than that. That's just like autoresponders. I started my customers on autoresponders back in the late 90s. And I said, look, what I want you to do is I want you to treat the next customer that comes in, I want you to treat them as though they were the only customer you're going to have for the rest of your life. And I want you to document all of the interaction with them. And we're going to take that, we're going to turn it into an auto response sequence for you. And that was just a phenomenal chain of events that would happen within those businesses because they created all the follow-up. And now, if a new person comes into their funnel, they're automatically nurtured. They're automatically followed up with. They're automatically treated like an absolute king or queen. And chances are they will want to do business with you. If you look at Frank Kern, that's what he does. When he gets you into his funnel, he's going to communicate with you like none other. You're going to get an email from him a couple of times a week at least. And, by the end of the first sequence, you're going to feel like you know him, you like him, and you trust him. And that's really the beauty of an auto response sequence, is having that power automatically running. And now they're just calling that same thing a bot. It's nothing more than an autoresponder. It's just auto responding in text messaging or instant messenger or whatever the format is versus email. But it's the same thing. It's like the same functionality. So, but it is really, really powerful to have that thing working for you. So,
can I, if you don't have an answer, let me know. But I have a WordPress question.
Okay.
I'm just confused by this. I just went to WordPress and wanted to get the blog Money Coach Chris. I own the site moneycoachchris.com. Okay. I own that site. I already have it through Bluehost. Already been there, done that. I just went to WordPress to get that blog. And what it had me do, it said, let's get a name for it. And I put in Money Coach Chris. And then it said, oh, that's only available with premium. And it charged me $96. But when I look at the receipt, it said, we registered your website. We gave you website policy, privacy protection. Like all this, I already had all this. So I'm not clear what I got, what I paid $96. I'm not clear how I register a blog on WordPress so that I get that unique name.
Okay, so it sounds like what you signed up for there.
Yep.
Was you signed up for having them host a WordPress site for you.
Okay. A WordPress site or a WordPress blog? All I wanted to get was the blog name.
Yeah, so let's see. Let me take a look here. I'm looking at the difference between the .com and the .org. Okay, so on the .com site, if you go back to the .com site,
okay,
instead of Get Started, you want to click on See Plans. So under the See Plans, it says free, and basically that's a WordPress.com subdomain. That's what you want. You want a subdomain.
All right, nuts. I'm on WordPress.com. And basically, sorry, it takes me to my sites. I'm not seeing.
Okay, you might be logged in, so you might have to log out.
All right, I'm going to log out. Sign out. Here we go.
Okay, so go back to where it says See Plans.
Okay, so websites, get started. Websites, blogs, features, pricing, news, support. Let me go to a different browser.
Okay, well, down where it says Get Started, then
Yep.
right next to that there's See Plans. You see that on the WordPress.com site?
Let's see. I'm in I'm sorry, you said click on Get Started?
Okay, well, here, let me just share the screen. I'll make it easy. Okay, you see my site now? Or see my screen, rather?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm at WordPress.com.
Oh, wait, sorry, shit. All right, got it.
And then here you've got Get Started and See Plans. So
Okay.
when I click See Plans, here's the plans and the pricing. So under free, there's
Yep.
WordPress.com subdomain. That's what you want.
Okay.
Here, anything other, when you pay for it, that's a custom domain. That means they're going to host it for you.
Okay.
So here's $4 a month billed annually. There's $8. That's where you got the 96. You bought the premium, $8 a month billed annually. That's $96. So this is advanced design customization, unlimited premium themes. So that's a different thing. What the free one is over here, WordPress.com subdomain.
All right.
So I would get them back and cancel the premium that you bought because you don't need that.
Yep.
And then go back here and go for the free one. So does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just not seeing see plans. I'm just not seeing that. It just says Get Started.
Okay, well, just scroll down because it's on the same page.
Yep.
If you just scroll the page, you'll see it right there. It's almost to the bottom. If you keep going more, that's all there is left on the page. So it's right at the bottom of the page.
Okay.
Did you find it?
No, just it's not there. It's just not there. It says Get Started, but I don't. It doesn't say See Plans. It just says Find a domain. It's got a bunch of different stuff.
So if you're on WordPress.com and you scroll to the bottom of the page, you don't see this?
I do not see it. Nope.
Huh. They must have flagged you. They said, hey, we can sell something to this guy.
It says it says Get Started and start with the blog. So, God damn it.
Well, I would say they've probably got you cached now, and they've decided you're in a different category. So you might want to just open a different web browser.
Yep.
And just go down and try it again. That would be my recommendation.
All right. Okay, I'll work on that.
All right. Well, cool. Anything else before we wrap up here? All right, guys. Well.
Oh, John, I'm sorry. What's the holiday schedule for calls?
Let me see here. Let me look at the calendar. Thursdays don't really fall on any holidays, so
Okay.
we should be good to go.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'm in town. I'm not really going anywhere this holiday season, so I don't foresee any interruptions.
Good, good. Okay.
Yeah, so we're on for the next few Thursdays anyway.
Okay.
Hey, I'm going to drop off Barb's thing for her on my way to my errands later today, okay?
Oh, okay, I'll be here. You can get to see my new office too.
Yeah, okay. All right. See you guys later.
Bye,
All right.
everybody. Thank you, John.
Thanks,
Oh,
John.
thank you guys for being on. And
Bye.
Bye.
bye bye.